What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the best shoes for small forwards. Before we get into the list, let me know which position you want to see next or which videos you want to see next. We can also do like best shoes for narrow feet, for flat feet, whatever. I already uploaded the best shoes for wide feet, so make sure to check that out. And also make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoy my content. It really helps me out a lot. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Start with the first pair, which is the Nike Zoom Freak 5. They haven't been in any of the other videos because in my opinion they are a perfect shoe for a small forward. The traction performance is really good. Just watch out with the translucent outsoles. There are some durability issues, as you can see here in the heel, and also I think it's on the other pair that I have, or in the other shoe actually, here in the forefoot area right around here. There's also just the material wearing off, and I haven't worn them that often. But I also have a pair with a solid rubber outsole, which is way more durable. Also, if you play outdoors, the solid rubber works, the translucent doesn't. The cushioning setup is nice. They changed it up a lot from the Freak 4. They're not as bouncy anymore, but they're way more comfortable and soft. And they still have a decent amount of bounce. Something that I don't like is that they don't have a shank plate, but you don't feel it as much as with another shoe that we're going to talk about later in this video. The materials are also really soft and conform to your feet well, and support features are also there apart from the shank plate. For the fit, if you have wide feet, watch out, especially if you have a wide midfoot. This lace loop right here, it goes down the side of the shoe and it can pinch into your midfoot a lot. That's also a reason why I don't wear them as much, even though I love this colorway in particular. Then another shoe we have, it's an older shoe, but it's a really good one for small forwards. It's the Puma Stewie 2. I know the Stewie 3 is about to release. I'm really excited to try those out. First colorway looked very promising, but these are really amazing performance. Performance on dust isn't the best like with all Puma shoes, but apart from that, there's really nothing that this shoe doesn't do well. Great supportive features, a great lacing system, also with some extra lockdown cables here in the forefoot. Very comfy cushioning setup and nice and soft materials. Of course, everything is a textile and synthetic, so if you prefer more premium feeling materials, then these are not for you, but apart from that, they're a really dope shoe. Then moving on to a shoe that's available with leather materials, it's the Fresh Foam BB Volume 2. Their only downside is that they're a little bit high off the ground, but everything else is top tier. I really like playing in those and practicing in them. They're so damn comfortable and materials are soft. The cushioning setup is out of this world, and the traction has a really loud squeak if you're into that. Usually that doesn't mean that the performance is good, but on this pair it does. Extremely loud squeak and great traction performance. Dust pickup also isn't too bad, so they also work on dusty courts, and I think they're also a good option for outdoors, as especially the ones with the solid rubber outsole, they feel relatively durable, and the compound of the rubber also feels relatively hard. I touched upon the materials already. It's kind of weird because they say it's leather, but on the tags on the shoe it just says synthetic, so I'm not entirely sure if it's real leather or synthetic leather, but they have a very nice feel to them and they're very soft and comfortable. Another shoe that's definitely available in leather materials is the LeBron 21. Personally, I prefer materials like this one, a synthetic upper or a textile like on Puma models, but they're also available in leather colorways. I also have one with a leather upper. They take more time to break in, they're a little bit more stiff and more supportive as well. After break-in, they get very nice and very soft, and as I said, a little bit more supportive than the colorways with this upper, but overall a perfect shoe for a small forward. They have 10 out of 10 traction performance, also work well on dusty courts. Cushioning setup is insanely comfortable, just like on the LeBron 20. They have the thickest zoom unit in the heel that's available from Nike, so if you need heel cushioning, these are definitely for you. And support is also there. The only downside, in my opinion, to them is they are expensive, 200 euros or dollars, and they don't have a carbon fiber shank plate, which the LeBron 20s had. So that's kind of sad to see that they went away from that. And watch out for the laces. For me, it's not been as bad, but for other people, I know a teammate of mine has the same colorway and his laces get undone like every 5 minutes while practicing. It's really annoying for him. For me, it doesn't happen as often, but it also happens, and I know that other people have those issues. Maybe swap them out if you don't want to be annoyed by them getting undone all the time while you're practicing or playing. Then another shoe, also really expensive, but probably the perfect basketball shoe alongside this one right here, which is also going to be on the list. The Wade 10, doesn't matter if you get the lows or here we have a pair of the highs. Both are insanely good and are perfect for the small forward position. A great traction performance. What makes these better than the LeBron 21 in my opinion is that they still have the full length carbon fiber plate. As you can see, it really goes from all the way over here to all the way up front. a lot of spring back out of this shoe, a lot of rebound. There's almost no flex in the midfoot, which I love. Great torsional support, great lateral stability and support as well. And the materials are very thin, very breathable, and still containing, so there are no issues with support. I really like these. The full length boom cushioning setup is also great. So in my opinion, if you have the money and if you can still get them, I can highly recommend them, essentially for any position, but especially for forwards that like to attack the rim, that like to jump a lot. These are really an awesome option. For the fit, I would go true to size with your Nike size or with your US Nike size. And the midfoot can be a bit narrow at first, also because they are caged. The cushioning is caged here. It goes up like a sidewall a little bit. This can take some time to break in. But because the materials are so soft and thin, there's usually no problems when wearing them, even if you have wider feet. Then another shoe from a Chinese brand, we have the Anta KT9. I think they retail for 160. They're not available in big sizes. They go up to a 13.5 on claythompson.com. I had these custom made for me from Anta. Big shout out to them. Size 14. Really cool colorway as well. Nice shoe for shooters. Good impact protection in the heel. Very low to the court, very low to the ground in the forefoot. The materials are a little bit stiff at first, but they break in nicely and they're very supportive. They also have that nice carbon fiber plate. They have an internal heel cup and a great lacing system, as you can see, works really well. Some actual lockdown loops here as well. Very supportive shoe, and if you're a shooter, you need that low to the ground feel in the forefoot. These are a great option. They're not as good as usual Anta shoes for outdoors, a little bit of a softer rubber compound, but still better than what you can expect from Nike or from other European brands. Then, I already mentioned it, the Nike Kobe 6 Pro in this case. An awesome shoe, probably the best basketball shoe you can get, but that's already the point with them, if you can get them. I love how the insole molds to my feet. That's like my favorite aspect about this shoe. They're very light, nice cushioning setup, very supportive, awesome traction performance. Can also work for outdoors, but are very expensive, so I honestly wouldn't take them outdoors. Just a perfect basketball shoe if you can get them. Then moving on to some other shoes, we have another Chinese brand shoe here. It's the Peak Andrew Wiggins one. This one might be a little bit of a surprise. I haven't talked about them as much, but I was thinking which shoes to put in this video, and then I saw them outside in the rack where I keep my shoes, and I thought actually these would be a really nice option for small forwards as well. Nice impact protection in the heel, low to the ground in the forefoot, similar materials to the KT9, and also a very supportive feel. Better for narrow feet. Also here you can see the midfoot is kind of narrow because we have this outrigger that's caging, that's going up here on the side. So a nice fit for narrow feet and still very good for small forwards. Also very comfy materials, padded nicely in the heel. So a good shoe if you're maybe like an Andrew Wiggins fan. You can definitely get these available in nice colorways. They also have a really cool pink colorway. And I forgot to mention the traction performance. It picks up a lot of dust, but if you're on clean courts, they work really well, and I think they're also a nice option for outdoors. Moving on to probably the perfect shoe for small forwards, it's the Nike KD16. In my opinion, the Free 5, LeBron 21, and the KD16 are amazing options if you like Nike shoes. They're really made for small forwards. I mean, also the players, signature athletes are small forwards, or that's their main position, I would say, even though they play other positions as well. KD16, great traction performance. The only reason why they're not a 10 out of 10 is because they struggle a little bit on dusty courts. The cushioning setup is so damn comfortable. It's really amazing playing in these or running in these, walking in these, just overall so comfortable alongside the materials, and the support features are also very good. And of course, the On Pro colorway, one of my favorite colorways of all time. Sometimes I just sit here in front of my shoe rack and look at these. All the details throughout the shoe are just so nice and so beautiful. Just can't stop looking at them. Oh, some new things I discover around the shoe. So really an amazing performer, and I can highly recommend them. Then we have another pair from Way of Wade. It's the Way of Wade All CD11 Volume 2. In my opinion, the 11 Volume 2 is better for small forwards, and the All CD12, I had them for point guards and for shooting guards. The boom setup here feels a little bit softer throughout the whole shoe. In the All CD12, you're lower to the ground in the forefoot, and these are a little bit more soft and have better impact protection. That's why I think they're better for small forwards. Great traction performance as well. Dust pickup is a little bit of an issue. They're really durable as well though, so they're a great option for outdoors if you're playing outdoors. The materials are comfortable, soft, breathable, and containing, and the lacing system does a really good job of locking you in as well. And you also have a double layer shank plate system. They call it Pro-Bar lock, so you have shank plate directly on top of the cushioning setup underneath the insole, and then one at the bottom as well. So very good torsional support, and as I said, very durable as well if you play outdoors. Then another shoe we haven't talked about, the Puma All Pro Nitro, similar to the Stewie 2, a little bit lighter, worse on dusty courts. Essentially, the rest is very similar. The materials are also a little bit softer and thinner, that's where they're lighter as well. Cushioning setup is so nice, so comfortable, like walking on a cloud. But if you're on dusty courts, really, I can't recommend them. If you're on clean courts, a 10 out of 10 shoe. Also great torsion support because of the shank plate here, and just a very comfortable fit. If you like comfort, if you like soft shoes and a soft feel to your feet, these are definitely for you if you're on clean courts. I wouldn't take them outdoors, the durability isn't the best. Then another shoe, we've had them in point guard and shooting guard videos as well, the Anthony Edwards one. Just such a versatile shoe that can be worn in every position in my opinion. Traction performance, 10 out of 10. They're not the most durable shoes on the market, but they will last you indoors. I'm not too sure about outdoors. You can move the grooves relatively easily. The cushioning setup is very, very nice. A full-length jet boost setup, very soft, very comfy. Materials are nice as well. They look stiff, but they're actually pretty damn soft. You can move them easily. Also, right off the box, don't need much of a break-in period. And the support features are also there. You can see they have this carbon shank plate here in the form of an X or a Y. And the only big downside to them is that they're really, really heavy. It's the heaviest shoe in my collection in size 14. They are over half a kilo, so 500 grams. I'm sorry, I'm not entirely sure what that is in ounces. You might just have to look that up. But apart from that, an awesome shoe if you don't mind heavy shoes. They work for every position. And then the last shoe I have for small forwards, the Nike GT Hustle 2. I mentioned in the beginning that I didn't like the Freak 5. Doesn't have a shank plate, but you don't feel it as much on them. As you can see, you also can't really bend them as much together. It's not as easy. But on this pair, I don't really have to put any force into them. I can twist them, turn them however I want. And that's really a big downside for a shoe that's at 200 euros or dollars. They have amazing cushioning setup, pretty solid traction performance, even though the pattern looks weird. And the materials are very soft. And overall, I also love the design, especially in this colorway. I love the back here with the Nike tab. Just some retro vibes. Also, the tongue is really cool. So I love everything about the shoe apart from the support. That's why I don't play with them as much. They are just not supportive enough for me, but they're also a nice option for wide feet. If you're a wide footer, you don't need as much support in your shoes. And if you have enough money, I can highly recommend them. Apart from that, I wouldn't really wear them if I were you. Another shoe that looks amazing but doesn't have the best performance, but it's also a nice option for small forwards, the KD4 Retro. I love the design. The traction is really, really good. Everything else about the shoe is kind of not as good. The cushioning setup, you don't really feel it. It's just a foam setup, very stiff. The materials are stiff as well. Supported lockdown is decent, but if you don't need good cushioning, if you maybe don't hoop as often, if you don't need impact protection and you like a nice looking shoe, they're releasing many more colorways. The Weatherman's just dropped this week. These are a great option. Apart from that, if you want a softer feel, these are definitely not for you. That being said, that's the best shoes for small forwards. Just a quick reminder, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the video. If you're still here, big thanks for watching it to the end. See you next time for more performance reviews.